Boys in space. What you doing up there, man? 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 Right. Okay, I had the stream on in a different window, and then it was echoing. It was kind of fitting though with what I was singing. Hi everyone. Where's the camera? There's the camera. It's been a while. Hi, UA. Tuneforge. Infinity. Hi. Hope this time I'm coming through without the echo. Do let me know if there's an echo. Oh, it's still not good? Really? So I hope the audio is okay now. Good morning, Tuneforge. Good afternoon. Good sweaty afternoon here in the Netherlands. It's been warm and humid. So it's gonna be a couple of sweaty jams today. Ready for some sweaty jams? Sweaty jams. Oh yeah. Hope your audio's good as well, Isaac. Hi, Kristen. Kristen says, after seeing some of them on Twitter, I can wait to hear some spicy Timmermans takes live. Thanks, Kristen. Yeah, spicy takes. We're gonna have some spicy takes today. Spicy Zelda takes, but mainly some nice piano playing. Because that's most important, right? So, let's see... Isaac doesn't have the problems anymore. Infinity still has some problems, they say. Yeah, it's not something I can do a whole lot with. If other people are hearing me right, it's something on the YouTube connection side. So, it's been 1.5 months since the last streaming session. It feels like an eternity ago. And I'm very curious how you're all doing. What you were thinking about that new game that released. There was a game that released, not sure if you noticed. UA says, I think we were all busy having a blast with Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, that was my feeling as well. I was like, so one, I'm going to have to play this game. and take it easy just for my own, waiting so long for a game and then kind of rushing through it to make hashtag content. That's not really my style. I wanted to take it easy. And I wanted to focus on the arrangements first and then any live streaming later on, once the initial hype had cooled off a bit. So the first arrangements I did, Lookout Landing and Mifa Court, they weren't really doing much, but Colgera did extremely well, so that was a lot of fun. And now the Skyview Tower that I did is also not doing super well, but at this point I'm just glad that the channel is chugging along, and happy to be playing some music for you all. So I actually finished the game a while ago. I finished the main narrative, so to speak. So I'm curious where you all are Don't want to be too spoilery, of course. Toot. Hi, HOZ, welcome. Toonforge says, I've had so much fun with it this month. Started building crazy Zonai robots, making a bunch of new piano covers, and had a blast on the final boss. That's good to hear. I do have the idea that the more you like building stuff, the more you like the game. It is a very Ultra Hand focused game. Don't have the feeling that all the powers are created equal, so to speak, from a game design perspective. It really is Ultra Hand and friends. So I'm kind of curious how many of you really like doing the Ultra Hand stuff, and how many of you are like, well, not necessarily, and if that impacts your enjoyment of the game. Because for me personally, spoiler alert, I'm not much of an Ultra Hand person. You know, if I want to be creative, I go compose some stuff, or I make an arrangement, or whatever. In a video game, I prefer interacting with the creativity of super talented game developers. So making my own fun, that's not really my thing. And Ultra Hand sometimes to me comes across as making your own fun, just a little bit too much. RDS Online says, I finished currently working my way through the Koroks. Oh my god, so much respect. About 300 out of 1,000. I'm not even bothering with with those personally. Like I was already Koroked out when I finished my Breath of the Wild playthroughs. And to a certain extent it goes for the shrines as well. I do like the new aesthetic of the shrines, but they're, for all intents and purposes, they're still shrines, you know? So, when I first started playing the game, I was just skipping all the Koroks and skipping all the shrines, because I was like, yeah, I want to see new stuff. I want to see what makes this game unique. And what kind of elevates this game above being Breath of the Wild with extra stuff. So maybe I kind of ruined my playthrough because the shrines are really fun. But just for me, I have to kind of turn the switch. Instead of, okay, this is so similar to Breath of the Wild, I'm gonna play this like it's a Breath of the Wild replay. And just skip all kinds of stuff. Yeah, then you're not really engaging with the game, perhaps. But you know, that's what I did. I wanted to see the new stuff. HOC is at 66% completion. Oh, that's more than I have. I'm at like 35. Did the main quest, mainly, and some side stuff. UA is 3 dungeons in. Ah, right, you're really taking it slowly. Very wise, very wise. And I will not talk about my favorite stuff in the game with too much specificity. Hi, Benthoven. Hi, not Ilgil. I could play Chopin if I practice it, but right now I don't have any Chopin in my repertoire, unfortunately. Backpack Studio says, I haven't done the shrines either. Okay, so I'm not the only one. What I actually did was I did enter shrines, and if it was an Ultra Hand shrine, like here's a bunch of stuff, go solve it or whatever, I just noped out immediately and I placed a skull stamp on my map where that shrine was. There's a few very fun shrines based around the other powers. I think Ascent is actually my favorite new ability. It solves so many vertical exploration challenges in the game design. And it's just so weird to just jump through the ceiling. I love it. Kristen says, 45 hours in and only finished Wind Temple. The game's too much fun to explore. Hi, Lazarus is back as well. Wow, this is all kinds... Feels like seeing some old friends again. It's only been 1.5 months. I'm not sure what I'm blabbering on about.
Lazarus says, going into the game, I thought the depths would maybe be a few big spooky caves. Was blown away to know there was an entire second map. Favorite part of the game. Yeah, the depths definitely is more of a main thing than the Sky Islands even. Sky Islands are, you know, they can be compared to shrines, but then more integrated into the overworld. But the depths, that's where the meat of the exploration is. Unfortunately, exploring in the depths, you only have one single identical piece of ambient background music, which is kind of a shame. Oh yeah, I do really love the Lightroot music. The Lightroot music, they use that in the first real trailer. The one that goes like not sure how it goes exactly, but kind of spooky. I will play some piano soon. Isaac asks, are you going to do the Koga rematch theme sometime? With it being a bit different from the first game, maybe you can redo Koga's theme, but what do you think of doing that? Well, it does sound a lot like the initial one. It's in the same key. It's essentially the same track, but with some added instruments. So I'm not sure that if I would redo that, maybe I would do a Celtic version, for example. Just some completely different kind of arrangement. Infinity says, I did beat the game on 4 hearts because I just did enough shrines to get full stamina. Oh, right, yeah. I do prefer upgrading stamina first as well, because it really helps in exploration. Infinity says, it was not a smart decision. I died many times. Same here. I think I died like 8 times during the final boss. I have not defeated King Leok. No, I did meet him. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing that right now because he was so damage spongy. I was like, well, we'll return to that later. Goeiesmiddags, Dung has expanded. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Wind Temple suite like I did with Breath of the Wild. I did like suites for the Zora Rito and Gerudo. I didn't do it for the Gorons because I wasn't too fond of the Goron Attack on Rudania music. But this time, doing suites for all of them would be kind of cool because the music for those segments of the game is really cool. It seems like the music team focused almost exclusively on the dungeons and the bosses and that stuff. It was a great. I really love the music in the Lightning Temple, for instance. But the Wind Temple as well. Wind Temple has like 7 tracks. There's like 2 or 3 when you're ascending up towards the Wind Temple, and then in the Wind Temple there's like 5 distinct tracks, and then Colgera has like 3 phases. So it's really good. Hey, it's Tim Drawstuff. Tim says, what do I see here? A handsome man with a handsome name. Yes, sirree, Bob. At least, not as long as you don't see me. As long as you don't see me at a profile, because then you see that my nose is approximately 1 meter long. Water Temple is also really cool, yeah. So Tim Drawstuff actually is a sort of colleague of mine. We're working together on the game that I posted recently in the community tab. We're working together on Soulstalker. There's a demo out for Soulstalker now, by the way, on Steam. And it's coming to Switch as well. It has a Paper Mario aesthetic, and Tim is really good at making Paper Mario kind stuff. And I've written like 8 different combat musics for Soulstalker. So a lot of composing. Where are you from, actually, Tim? I was talking to Conrad. He also had another Tim and his team now, but he's from North Holland. Alright, I'm going to play some real music because this noodling, I can do that all day, but this is a game music stream. So I'm going to start with, I think, a Lookout Landing, kind of a warm-up. Because regular viewers know that I'm not really good at playing the notes exactly how I've written them down. So this is going to be like an interpretation. And any suggestions, just leave them in the chat. Oh yeah. That was sort of a nice warm-up. See you later, Toonforge. A few people went away for now, and a few people arrived. Hi, Alexander. Explosive Grape, welcome back. Welcome back. Asami, hi. Let's see, I missed some stuff, of course. Missed some stuff, oh yeah. It's time for a jam. I'm gonna play a jam during the talking. Just downloaded a new piano sound. Let's see what it sounds like during the talking. Tim Draw stuff also has a large schnoz. Schnoz? Is it English? Is that German? I'm not sure what that is. Is it Dutch? Does it look Dutch? Backpack Studios says, I love hearing the music on Spotify. I think that's about the Soulstalker music. Yeah, if you like my improvisation stuff, do check out my original work on Spotify, like the open air stuff and the Soulstalker stuff. You might like it. See you later, Kristen. Yeah, so the marketing material for Soulstalker says, bless your eardrums with a soundtrack created by a composer versed in melodic RPG vibes. You know, that's a legally distinct way to say, dude knows Zelda music. Fruity, 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 the fruity, the frape. Hey, Phonetic Chain, welcome back. Backpack Studios asks, how do you do such smooth transitions? I've got no idea. I could play the statement of the like the track that I'm trying to play, and then if I'm not sure where to go next, I'll just noodle. I'll just do a modulation. I change keys, which is always a nice way to kind of reset the musical senses, so to speak. And then I think really hard, like what was it again? Like a suggestion from the list, for example. Like, how did that one go again? And then I try some stuff out. Sometimes I don't really nail it, and then it sounds like it's a smooth transition, while I'm just trying to play something. Really nice that it comes across that way, though, so thanks. RDS Online says, I really enjoyed the quest about finding all the musicians. That's a lovely song, yeah. I'm definitely going to make an extended Celtic version of that, because that sounds almost like the Zelda musical team has listened to my Hyrule Highland stuff. Of course they haven't, but let me have this. It sounds a little bit like that. It's a nice little thing. Yeah, no Cass. I'm kind of wondering if there's going to be DLC at all, to be honest, because with Breath of the Wild they announced DLC before the game launched, and this time we've even had a Nintendo Direct a few days ago, and no mention about Tears of the Kingdom DLC. So maybe there won't be any this time around. Hey, Victoria. Happy Midsummer, Alexander. Is it Midsummer? I have to really enjoy the long day then today. Yeah, Infinity, let's hope there's an elf DLC, crossover DLC with the saxophone playing NPC in the game. Chubadoo. Oh yeah. Isaac asks, what did you think of the Nintendo Direct from Wednesday? Well, just a second. I've kind of been looking forward to a new 2D Mario game for a long time. So I'm very glad that there's new 2D Mario coming. And it looks like really good. It's more or less an evolution of the new Super Mario Bros. Style, which I'm not particularly fond of. But it's a very good evolution. So they've kind of taken the staticness of the new Super Mario Bros. Series, and they just went completely ham in trying to counteract that. So it's super lively, super animated, varied, so many new characters, enemies, and stuff. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. Maybe that may be my game of the year. Let's see, because personally, Tears of the Kingdom didn't really click with me. But this one looks very, very good. So let's see. And maybe in a few months' time, when I've kind of gotten used to the kind of game that Tears of the Kingdom is. I'll revisit it and I'll have it'll click better with me. We'll see. Asami says, "Hello Tim, I've been practicing your arrangement of Rito Village. It's really great, thanks." It's good to hear, Asami. Glad to be of service. The intro especially is kind of difficult, right? After the intro, it's not as hard anymore. Yue says, "What are your favorite aspects of Tears of the Kingdom, Tim? Would you ever go back to Breath of the Wild?" My favorite aspects, I think I really enjoy the skydiving stuff. Especially if you go... if you have a lot of vertical movement in your playstyle. So you go between the three and a half world layers. So Sky, Hyrule, Caves, and the Depths. I really enjoyed that. It's very cool to do the skydiving stuff. Even though it makes it even easier to kind of skip over large swaths of the game. But I really enjoy that. I do prefer Breath of the Wild's more like focused tone. Breath of the Wild was really about regret and isolation and stuff like that. Tears of the Kingdom is more a buffet table of all kinds of stuff. And I prefer the kind of focused thematics of Breath of the Wild. Are we gonna get the Cuckoo of the Wild? Of course we are gonna get the Cuckoo of the Wild. Just a Little Penguin asks, "What is your favorite quest in the regional phenomena?" Out of the 4, that's definitely the Gerudo one. I thought the Gerudo stuff was the strongest, actually. I really enjoyed the Gerudo boss, even though I'm not much of a boss person myself, boss fighting person myself. But I thought it was a really cool way, like the kind of horde stuff that was going on there. Really love that. I love the mood in the Lightning Temple and the music there. Unique enemies, of course, in the desert as well. Wind Temple was also nice. I thought all 4 were really big steps up compared to Breath of the Wild's 4 regions. And that's, of course, the mystery one that we won't talk about just yet. Which, you know, in terms of atmosphere and music as well, whew, super good. Infinity says, like what happens with Koga at the end of this. I was thinking the same thing. Gonna fight with Koga on the moon, right? For the next one. I prefer the next one to be completely fresh and new, honestly. Soup Can Sam says, "Had the same issue with Tears of the Kingdom. Must have played Breath of the Wild several times over, but this sequel feels so strange to me. Don't know if I'll ever finish it." It is kind of weird that you, like, for me, you know, the moment-to-moment exploration is different because the overworld has been overhauled. But you know where the towns are, you know how the regions look like, you know where the big landmarks are, you know a lot of the characters already. So, for me, that kind of undermined the exploration a little bit. Just a Little Penguin asks, which has the best music? I think I have to go with the Wind, like the Rito stuff for best music. The Kogera is an amazing boss theme, and like the way the builds up towards the Wind Temple, that's just fantastic. I do really like how they changed up Yunobo to make him a little bit more heroic. I really like what they did with him. Cool piece of music as well he had. How did it go again? Da 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 da. I really want to do a cover of that soon, of Yunobo's new music. Fantastic. Gonna answer one more question, then I'll play a little bit more of that piano. Is that Dutch? Thomas Ritmeester? Sounds like it could be Dutch. And, or it could be something else. Thomas Ritmeester. Maybe. Asks. He's Dutch. Okay. Ja, zeker. Hi Tim, got any tips for someone wanting to start playing the piano? I'm on the verge of buying my first keyboard right now. It kind of depends on what you want to play, Thomas. Like if you really want to play like solo piano, then I would recommend, if it's within budget and stuff, to get a keyboard with weighted keys, so that the keys have some resistance when you press them. The difference between weighted keys and unweighted keys. Because if you really want to play acoustic piano down the line, or like solo piano stuff like what I'm doing, then you have to kind of build up the like the muscles to press acoustic piano keys. If you want to do more like electronic stuff, or you just want to fiddle around with all kinds of sounds, then you can also buy an unweighted keyboard. If you want to do more stuff like this. Like just fiddling around with all kinds of things. Then yeah, you can also buy an unweighted keyboard. But if you want to actually learn the piano, buy a weighted keyboard. You can also get one second-hand. There's a large second-hand market in that kind of thing. And if you actually start playing, just take it easy. It's gonna take quite a bit of time to develop the what's it called? The dexterity with multiple limbs at the same time. Infinity says, my boss is Dutch. Only person I've seen casually wear wooden shoes. He's a very Canadian Dutch in personality, though. Now I want to know what a Canadian Dutch person is like. There's only one person that I know from my friends who wears wooden shoes. And he only does that when he's actually out in the garden doing stuff. But even in the Netherlands, wearing wooden shoes is a statement. So respect to your boss. Let's see if I can play a little bit of Kogera. It's a difficult one, though, and I'm going to have to do some trickery to flip the pages. So be gentle with me. Let's see, can I do 2 pages at the same time? I can sort of do that. All right, let's see. Oh yes, a cheap keyboard is absolutely fine, just to get some of the absolute basics in. But if you're serious about it, then you know, in a few years' time, if you know better what you want to do, definitely go have a look at some stores, try some stuff out. Let's see. I will talk more after this interruption. That's always a pleasure, that one to play. Flooby, 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 floop. Okay, let's answer some more questions or react to some stuff. La 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 la. Just a Little Penguin has an interesting question. I'm thinking of doing a French horn, trumpet, and double bass jazz cover of this song. Wow. Any recommendations? Woo, for learning arranging. Oof, oof, wow, oof. Ooh, that's especially with that instrumentation, that's gonna be a challenge. Not sure how much experience you have arranging stuff. Knowing the instruments you're arranging for, and preferably playing a little bit of it, just that you know what the instrument how the instrument kind of works like, definitely helps. Start out with a small section, especially Kulgera can be a really labyrinthine piece of music. So, for example, just start with the catchy stuff. Start with something small, I'd say. The key, the song is, you can find the sheet music in the description of the video. It starts in C minor, Kulgera, but then it goes to G sharp minor or A flat minor, depending on how you're wired. I often think more in the flat than in the sharp, even when it's more complicated. So the main part is in G sharp minor. And then it moves over to D minor for the ending. Yup. It's so right. And really had to kind of massage the different transition or the different phases I could find on the internet to turn it into a single piece of music. Because a lot of music in Tears of the Kingdom is like really fragmented, and then the audio engine, based on all kinds of parameters, kind of glues the music together. Sometimes it works really well. I think with Kulgera, it kind of doesn't allow the music as much time to shine as it kind of deserves, in my opinion. Because as soon as you damage Kulgera, the music jumps over to a different section. So if you're like fighting really quickly, you don't even get to the super catchy part. So yeah. Hyan HKS asks, I'm curious, do you have aspects of piano playing you wish to especially improve at? Whew, that's an interesting question. Yeah, so I'm kind of getting the feeling that I've hit my like my piano technical limit with the amount that I'm willing to play. Because I'm not especially classically minded. I don't have the patience or willpower to really practice like 3-4 hours a day to really kind of elevate my level. I think I have a nice level right now. I can use it. I kind of express myself super well on my instrument. That's the most important thing for me. So any additional like piano technical chops, those are nice bonuses. Maybe I'll be able to play Dark Beast Ganon in one go in a live setting without ruining it if I improve my technique. But right now I'm kind of content actually with my piano playing. It would be very cool if I was able to, for example, improvise more in Bach style. So if I could do like fugues and stuff like that, but improvise, that'd be super cool. That's something that's not sure if if that'll ever happen, but that would be super cool. Where both hands are independent and just as important. That'd be very cool to really learn someday. Maybe just a little bit more sweet jazz, harmony stuff, because that can be super inspiring. But no, not necessarily. It's my instrument in which I express myself, and I can express myself really well with it. So anything that's that improves from this starting point is kind of gravy, so to speak. I wouldn't mind, of course. That was the Crimson Loftwing music from Skyward Sword. It's actually in the intro as well. In the Skyward Sword intro, it starts out, I think, after the initial exposition. It starts out like really bombastically, and then just a little bit later in the game, once you free your Loftwing, you also get that song. It doesn't return after that, but it's a really lovely little ditty. How about the music from that one scene, Infinity asks? The sad one, I don't want to spoil. I don't think I've seen this scene enough times to be able to play the music. I do want to play a spoilery piece of music in this stream that I will not name, but it's my absolute favorite piece of music from the game, from Tears of the Kingdom. So I'm going to play that in just a little bit. Harry Dumb 77 asks, I've always wondered how musicians learn to improvise so well, because it doesn't look like something that's able to be practiced. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have an answer, because I do know quite a few like classical musicians that are like trained to like play existing pieces super well, and many of them, they never started improvising, and then in the later age it becomes really difficult to kind of unpop the cork, so to speak. But I do know one classical pianist who is an excellent classical piano player and who can also improvise like super well, also all kinds of classical styles. I think it's something that as you start playing your instrument, you kind of have to keep your own creativity on a parallel track. So you're practicing your technique on one hand, and then you're also trying to apply that technique to non-existing music. Just stuff you make up yourself, or something you try to play, something that you've heard on the radio or in a video game or whatever. Do you folks know what a radio is? Just something you know. And for me, I had that parallel track, and it worked really well for me. Then if you kind of keep your creativity uncorked, so to speak, then you can, then you still have to practice to make good improvisations, just like with improv theater. So there are certain rules that you can abide to if you're looking for a certain end result. So if I want to improvise, for example, a piece of town music for a video game, then I know, okay, so the tempo has to be low. I start out with a relaxed and open intro, and then a reasonably slow and but also catchy melody enters. Then there's a B part that has some contrast, and then the A part returns, and then we're going back to the intro. So there are certain rules, also harmonic rules, of course, that you don't have to abide to per se, because you're free to do whatever you want, of course, but which can help to achieve a certain type of result, so to speak. For example, if you want to improvise Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom style ambient piano music, I already did a video about that once, then there are certain rules that you can use during improvisation to make it sound like that. And then you can add your own creativity on top of that. Well, that's a very long answer. Not Paru asks, hey, here's a random question. Have you ever heard of any Outer Wilds OST? I think I've heard something. This is with banjo and stuff, right? It's kind of like spacey folky. Should listen to it more, because it should be right up my alley. Hey, Liana, welcome. Yair, hi. The Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom loop. Okay, I'll add that to the thing that I wanted to play. Infinity asks, how did you learn the piano? You mentioned at one point you had some experience in jazz. Did you take a class or just practiced it on your own or something? Hi, I got only pepperoni. I actually had classical piano lessons for 9 years, from my 9th until my 18th year, and then I went to the conservatory to study music education. Studied there for 3 years, and I had mainly classical lessons there as well, but I had some jazz stuff. I'm not really a jazz person, but I do really love jazz harmonies, so I kind of wanted to learn about that. And then all kinds of the kind of color chords that you're hearing when I'm just talking, kind of improvising, that's almost all thanks to Breath of the Wild. That game really taught me so much about jazz harmony. Not in the theoretical sense, but more in the embodied sense, that know what kind of shapes sound good in what order and stuff like that. And even during my classical lessons, just lots of improvisation myself. My classical teacher didn't really know what to do with my creativity. She was like, okay, it's super cool, just keep doing it, but I can't help you with it. So I just kept doing it. Ooh. Lots of happy accidents when improvising. What's this? What's this? Nice. So, yeah, but I was never a star pupil from my piano teacher. But piano is like wired into my emotional regulation and stuff like that. Like the instrument is very important to me, so I just kept playing. Ha! All right. I wanted to play something spoilery. I'm not going to say what this is, but people who've played the game up until that point will know. Hi, Willie B. Welcome. And Deep Horrors. Oh yeah. Shoompa de floompa de floomp. Sort of, kind of. Dragon Roost Island here. Yeah, I'm going to make an arrangement of that piece for sure. But like many pieces in Tears of the Kingdom, like the memorable part of music is actually very short. So I'm gonna have to kind of dig through all the dynamic layers and see what if I can extract some more catchy stuff there. Yeah. Interesting question from. Oh, it scrolled off this page already. Somebody asked if I'm from a musical family. Pilly Wiggin asks, out of curiosity, did you grow up in a musical family? I did not. So my grandmother, I never knew her because she was dead before I was born, but she was very musical, according to my dad. They had a piano and she could play very, like I'm playing, like very easily. But she didn't really develop it much further than some basics. But there's something there, and my grandfather from the other side, he played like the mouth harp or something, like the harmonica. Not sure how well he did that. I don't know, but my mother has some interest in singing, but she never really developed that until I started singing, and then she kind of went along a few years later. But my parents did kind of encourage it. So I did get a piano and a keyboard and lessons and stuff like that, even though they didn't really have a lot of money. So I'm very grateful for that. Yeah. Yeah, just a little penguin. If you know how to play those instruments yourself, that's definitely gonna help. I'd say start with just a short part of Kulgera, because doing the entire thing, I would find that really difficult personally. Such a long and kind of virtuosic and complicated and epic piece for such an unconventional setting. Yeah. Jazz. Thanks, Petey Wiggin. Yeah, I kind of learned the drumming by drumming on my knees in the train and stuff. I didn't get a drum kit until a few years ago. Opa. All right. Infinity says, I've played the mouth harp, then it hit my tooth, and I decided it wasn't worth chipping a tooth. Yeah, I completely understand. It's getting hot in here, so hot. So play on all your pianos. I can't because the grand piano is in the other room. I am getting so hot, I'm gonna play my pianos. Like the sun is on this side of the house in the afternoon. Yeah. I've been writing a piece of town music recently, like this morning, actually, for a game. Maybe I can play it. Maybe I've already forgotten about it. Something like that. So I've just been working on that. So it's a kind of a starting town for an RPG. So I wanted to go like early 90s Uematsu Koji Kondo style. So some kind of nostalgic sounding stuff. Yeah. It's for an RPG from the same developer as Soulstalker. But I just sent it a few hours ago. I'm not even sure if he likes it. But I like it, so if he doesn't like it, then I'll use it for something else. In case you're watching, hi Konrad. I hope you like it. Yabba-dabba-da-dum. That's good to hear, Yue, because that was kind of the idea. It kind of has the feeling of Link's Awakening. Because of that... that left hand there. My influences betray me. See you later, RDS Online. Good night. Tommy Tittle 1992 asks, how goes the Wind Temple arrangement planning? There's no planning, Tommy Tittle. I haven't really decided what I'm going to arrange next. But that might be a good idea because I have an inkling that the Wind Temple will remain the most popular location in Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think anything really tops that. I haven't checked my channel analytics in a while because sometimes it's good for your mental health not to. But these days I'm kind of waiting for a moment when I'm thinking, okay, now I really need a new video because the channel is kind of slumping. Because Colgera was doing so well, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to upload anything because I was afraid that it would ruin Colgera's views. So only when Kugeta was going down, I uploaded something new. And lo and behold, Kugeta went down even further in a faster tempo than it probably otherwise would have. So sometimes uploading something is actually worse for the channel. So now I'm not really sure what to do anymore, to be honest. Maybe don't look at the analytics and just do whatever I want to do. So maybe I'll just do that. Master Koga is a gem, of course. Whatever. Oh, such a mess. But a jamming mess. Jam. What's going on with my computer? All right. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, Infinity, YouTube is not good for your mental health because you do not have an inkling what kind of stuff works, generates views, and whatnot. It's just impossible to tell. Impossible to tell. I'm just so happy with my Spotify listeners, Apple Music listeners, and my patrons. That's the only reason. I say that almost every stream because it's so true. Because looking at the YouTube analytics just makes me go, oh my God. I've got no idea what works and what doesn't. And most of the stuff I do reaches a small audience. And you know, at this point, I'm just glad that I have a small audience at all. So I don't try not to look at the analytics too much anymore because I have a nice little audience. You all, I'm so grateful for that. And come what may, I will love you until my dying day. So we'll see. And I've got a composing practice nowadays for the past couple of years, which is very weird to say, but it's true. So I make do financially. It's fine. It's fine. Da, 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 da. Come what may. Oh, I missed some Patreon messages. Patreon sometimes can be very difficult. All right, let's see. I missed a few comments. Tommy Tittle says, your Master Koga video is amazing. I play the piano using these tutorials because I can't read sheet music. And playing along to / with your video of Koga's theme makes me bounce with joy. That's so cool to see, Tommy Tittle. Yeah, I started out doing sheet music videos, but then I realized that a lot of people don't read sheet music. And Synthesia is a very practical way for a lot of people to also learn stuff. So glad to see that I'm of service. And yeah, Master Koga is such a nice jam to play. It's a lovely. KK Cruisin'. Ooh, that's been a while. It's been a while. I'll look it up. See if I can still play that. Ah, thank you so much, Backpack Studios. I do not know the Mogera team. I did look it up because people said it was very similar to Coolgera, and they were right. I think that Hajime Wakai was one of the composers for Wind Waker, and he's the sound director for the latest few Zelda games. So I think it's an intentional reference. So the Tears of the Kingdom soundtrack is full of references like that. It's crazy. Sometimes it's a little bit too referencey to my tastes, but you know, it's also very cool to recognize stuff. It's time for the patron shout-outs. First I have to adjust my filters. Patron website sometimes sucks a little bit. Oh, shum. And then I will play KK Cruisin' for y'all. Let's see if I can find the PDF. That was a COVID period piece. Oh my god, it's got like 6 flats. Okay, we'll see how far along I get. But first, it's time for the Patreon shoutouts. What was the music again? Something like this, right? Usually use this piano sound. So I'd like to thank my patrons that make doing this channel worthwhile. Timmermans is sponsored by his patrons. In no particular order, I want to shout out the following people, the top patrons. Angel, Lord Ganon. Still kinda uncomfortable that I'm sponsored by Lord Ganon, but oh well. Flashing Fire, Mandalion, Masatoshi, HSPER, Clown Pierce, Random Citizen, bless his soul, Aspiring Hero Games, Native, and I will look at the other names. NS, George R, Rio S, Patrick, and Joshua. Thank you all so much for being my top patrons. There's also a lot of other patrons that are in the other tiers. For instance, Andrew, Emil, Starship, Luke, Rachel, Hoppip, Princess Zelda I see is a patron. Well, that kind of balances out the Lord Ganon connection, I think. Lazarus says, got a new job recently, so gonna rejoin the list soon. Thanks so much, Lazarus. Did you get a nice new job? Because you quit your previous job, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, and if you're not a patron, don't feel bad about it. This is not a FOMO exercise. This is just me being very thankful to be doing this. Let's see if I can play a little bit of KK Cruising for you all. Oh my god, this key is blip. But now maybe I can improvise it in a different key, because now I think I know how it goes. Yeah. KK tracks were always very nice to play. There's also this one I like very much. And there's also KK Disco. That's also very nice. I have to look that one up because I have to see the first few notes. Me? I did do KK Disco, if I remember correctly. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, here we go. Oh, I have to put a Japanese name in the Google Translate so I can read their comment. Yamato says, it's a night in Japan right now. I go to bed while listening to your wonderful piano. Good night, Yamato. Don't think these KK tracks are very good for your sleeping because they're quite active. Hey, Agaroni Pepperoni says, can you play Hyrule Castle theme? Yeah, let's do that one as well. First, we're going to do some disco. Let's see how it goes again. Yeah. Whew. Huh. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Meh. All right. This one is too long ago. I can't play it. Hey Bart. Groetjes aan Lucas en Annemiek, jongen. Let's just play something I do know. important final note. Yeah, folks, it's getting really warm in here. I think I'm going to call this a day for today soon. Good morning, Stephanie. Yeah, it's almost dinner time here in Cheeseland. Tommy Tittle says, gonna just say thank you for not making your videos overly flashy and the notes being played are easy to discern. You can say that, and I'm glad to read it. They try to make it interesting to look at, but still usable, because the idea is that people, you know, a certain segment of the audience mainly listens, and a certain segment also tries to study this, so it doesn't have to be too flashy. I am curious what kind of messages I missed. Oh. Someone canceled their thing and I missed their message. That was like 5 days ago? Okay. Huh. They thought my orchestral stuff was also available in sheet music, but I don't do that. Oof. I'm going to refund them and then change my name or my descriptions for the rewards. It's always a bad feeling if you disappoint someone, but you know, it happens. Angel, if you're watching this, I'm sorry I missed your message. Patreon can be a little bit weird in that sense. I'll answer soon. Anyways, thank you all so much for stopping by. I'm literally sweating here. It was very nice to stream again. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen next week. I do have a few composing things still open that I love working on, but maybe doing some wind temple stuff can be interesting, and then like adding the Colgera arrangement at the end of that. So that might be an interesting suggestion. Maybe I'll do that, because I was thinking wind temple is a very interesting sequence to do. So yeah. Hey, Hithwan Andomial says, oh my god, yay, I finally caught a stream. Might be the end, but hi. We'll try to stream more regularly again in the future. I want to thank you all very much. And, Agroni Pepperoni with a $5 Canadian super chat says, before I go, I have some money. Thanks so much, Agroni. It's very appreciated. I haven't done any Cocoon music, by the way. That's, of course, also misleading advertising that I said I was going to do Cocoon music and then I didn't do Cocoon music. Wait a second, I have to do a reverb on my voice. That's very important. Oh yeah. How's that for an ending? Very Muppet. Have a good day, Hithwin. Have a good day and or night, everybody, wherever you are. And a bubblegum buck. Oh my god, no, I'm not going to do this because then I will be bucking for the rest of my evening. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.